Somewhere between the ages of 22 and 29, most people make a decision that quietly deletes about $200,000 from their future net worth. It doesn't show up on a bill or a credit statement. It just disappears, slowly and silently. This loss targets hard-working people following standard, socially accepted advice. It catches those who pay their bills on time and genuinely believe they're making smart financial moves. Think back to your first real job. Maybe you were making $45,000 a year. You figured out how to live on that income, and you were genuinely fine. Fast forward 3 or 4 years. You get a few raises, maybe switch jobs, and bump that salary up to $75,000. But if you check your bank account, your savings rate hasn't grown at all. Earning more money rarely equals keeping more money. This stagnation is caused by a normalized, silent wealth killer called lifestyle inflation. Here is how it works. The moment your income goes up, your expenses expand to absorb the new cash flow. You move into a nicer apartment. You finance a newer car. You start eating out more often. Each upgrade feels entirely reasonable in isolation. You work hard. You hit a new career milestone. And paying for a better dinner or a nicer car feels like a deserved reward for your success. The true penalty of these upgrades is the permanent destruction of what that cash would have become over the next 3 decades. To see exactly how this plays out, let's look at two 24-year-olds, Alex and Jordan. Both just got a promotion at work. Their salaries jump from $50,000 to $65,000. After taxes, that's exactly $900 of extra take-home pay every single month. Alex absorbs that entire $900 into his baseline. He moves into a nicer apartment, finances a $380 a month car, and takes frequent weekend trips. Alex is experiencing a psychological mechanism called hedonic adaptation. Your brain has a remarkable ability to normalize whatever circumstances you're living in. Within a few months, the new car just feels like your car. The nicer apartment just feels like where you live. The luxury fades, and the new baseline sets in. Because of this adaptation, Alex's financial stress remains exactly the same as it was before his promotion. His lifestyle inflated perfectly to match his new income, leaving him functionally running in place. This timeline shows what happens when someone takes a different path. Jordan freezes her lifestyle. She keeps her old apartment, drives her old car, and strictly invests that $900 difference every month in a basic index fund. She does this from age 24 to 30. Over those 6 years, Jordan's out-of-pocket contribution is $64,800. But with an average 8% return, that money grows to roughly $85,000 by the time she turns 30. At age 30, Jordan stops contributing entirely. She doesn't add another dime. That $85,000 simply compounds untouched for 24 more years, ballooning to $570,000 by the time she turns 54. Alex has a flat zero to show for his promotion. That missing $500,000 is his silent invoice. It is the massive, delayed penalty he will eventually pay in retirement, simply because he chose to look successful in his 20s. If you want to avoid Alex's fate, there is one specific expense you have to manage carefully. Housing is the absolute center of gravity for your finances in your 20s. It dictates the limits of every other choice you make. Upgrading your apartment doesn't just reduce your monthly savings. It establishes a rigid, high-pressure baseline. A rent increase from $1,000 to $1,800 compresses your financial resilience. It makes emergencies harder to weather, and it eliminates your option to take a pay cut for a career risk you might actually love. Locking in low rent during your early career is the single most defining factor in whether your long-term financial trajectory mirrors Alex's or Jordan's. Choosing to maintain your budget after a raise is a deliberate trade. You are exchanging temporary social status for long-term financial leverage. To put this into practice, you can use a behavioral safeguard called the raise rule. Every time your income increases, you automatically divide the after-tax bump in half. 50% goes to your lifestyle, and the other 50% is routed directly to your investments before it ever hits your checking account. This works because it bypasses your willpower. You get to guiltlessly enjoy half of your success, while mathematically preventing your brain from adapting to the full amount. You pair this with an annual lifestyle audit. Once a year, sit down and review your regular expenses, specifically to see which subscriptions or upgrades have succumbed to hedonic adaptation. If something just feels normal now and no longer provides actual joy, you cut it. Automated rules and annual audits provide a structural defense against the psychological biases that would otherwise erode your wealth. You will make plenty of financial choices over your lifetime, but the decisions you make in your 20s carry an asymmetric weight. Mathematically, they matter more than those made in any other phase of life. This visualization shows exactly why. The exact same dollar invested at age 24 is worth 4 times more than if you invested at age 44. The market isn't any different. It is entirely due to the one-way momentum of time. Lifestyle inflation is a seamless trap because it looks like a normal part of growing up. Everyone around you is doing the exact same thing. But the 55-year-old version of you is the one who will ultimately receive the invoice for today's comfort. Build your leverage now, while the math is overwhelmingly in your favor.